Hello, friends. This is the test review for the transformation. It's not that funny, Mr. Anderson. Okay, so we're going to go over a few different types of problems so that you can have a little review before your test on Thursday this week. The first one that we're going to do is a translation. Translation, remember, means slide. This one says we're going 3 units left and 5 units down. Now, the rule, you're not required to write the rule for this because that's not what the directions say, but I am going to write the rule just to kind of help you and make sure that you're understanding. So we start XY moves to, if we're going 3 units left, that means we're going 3 units on the x-axis towards the negative side. So on the x-axis, we're going -3. That's 3 units to the left. And then on the y-axis, we're going 5 units down. So going down is also negative, so it's going to be y minus 5. Okay, now just for a little review, if this was positive, x plus 3, that means you're going on the x-axis right 3 spaces. And if the y was positive, if it was y plus 5, you would be going up on the y-axis 5 spaces. Okay, so that's the rule. Then we need to take every dot on our shape and we're going to move it 3 units left and 5 units down. So we start with x. We're going to go 3 units to the left and 5 units down. And that's where we put x prime. Same thing with w, 3 to the left and 5 down. There's w prime. Then we go y, 3 units to the left and 5 down. There's our y prime. And last z prime, we go 3 units to the left and 5 down. And there's our z prime. There you have it. There's your translated shape. Okay, then I'm going to move on to number 11 on your test review. Number 11, the directions here say write a rule to describe each transformation. So what I always do is I look at the shape. This one's pretty easy to see, that the shape is getting bigger. But remember, you want to look and see, is the shape being reflected? Is it rotating? Is it just sliding? You have to look and see if the shape is changing directions, and that will help you to know what's happening to the shape. So this little shape inside here is going to be my first shape, or my pre-image shape. The reason I know that is because it says JKLI and there is no prime next to it. So our shape starts here, and then this shape is getting bigger and moves out to this second shape, the big shape, which is our K prime, J prime, I prime, and L prime. Okay, so we want to know, we know this is being dilated, okay, but we want to know by how much it's being dilated. So in order to figure out how much, we have to pick one set of points. So I'm going to pick J. J is at, let's see, -2, +2. And J prime is at 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, +4. Now in order to find how much it was dilated by, I take J prime and divide it by J. So I can take -4 divided by -2, which equals 2. It would work the same if you use the y values instead of the x values. Remember, this is my J prime x on the top and my J x on the bottom. That means we're dilating by 2. And that's your answer.
Nice. Okay. Now I get to go through a couple with you. So I'm going to start on 21 on your test review. And here it just gives me a series of points. And it tells me to do something specific to them. Now, this is where having your little foldable comes in handy to remember those rules. Because when you rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, the rules tell you that you are going to switch the x and y coordinates and that the new x is going to change signs. So it's always nice when you already have the points like this. So when I rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, this new U, I'm going to take the two coordinates and I'm going to switch them. For U, they're the same coordinates. But what it tells me to do is that the new X is going to change sign. So it's not going to be the same point anymore. It's going to become positive 4 and negative 4. And technically I switched those before I changed that sign. And let's look at another one. This will be clearer. With A, I'm going to switch those 2 points. So it's going to become 1 and negative 2. But then I need to change the sign of my new X coordinate, so it's going to become negative. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing with I. They're going to switch, and it's going to become 1, negative 1, but that new X coordinate changes signs and becomes negative 1, negative 1. And then P, do the same thing, switch the coordinates. It's negative 2, 1, but I need to change the sign of the new X coordinate, so instead of negative 2, it's now a positive 2. And that's what you do when you rotate. Just follow the directions. When you rotate, you're going to have to switch the coordinates when you're rotating counter or clockwise. When you rotate 180 degrees, the numbers are going to stay in the same place. All you have to do is change the signs on both of the coordinates. And then the last one I'm going to do here with you guys is number 26. This is one of the multi-transformations. And it gives me a series of points to rotate. I'm just going to hurry and graph those real quick here. And I'll rewrite them over here. So A, B, C, it's negative 1, 2, negative 3, 4, negative 4, 1. It's going to say, Mrs. Neverton copied me a little bit, but she didn't at the end. She changed her font. Okay. And then to graph them would be negative 1, 2. There's my A. Negative 3, 4. There's my B. And C is negative 4, 1. There's my C. So I'm going to get a triangle shape here. I should probably move it up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So the first thing it wants me to do is rotate these 90 degrees clockwise. So again, on my little handy footnotes here, 90 degrees clockwise, I'm going to switch the X and Y, and then the new Y changes signs. So these are all going to flip. So it's going to become, that's an arrow, 2, and then the Y is going to change sides, so it's 2, 1. And then it's going to become 4, positive 3, and then 1, 4. Yeah. So I just changed the coordinates and then changed the sign on all the new Y values there. So I could go ahead and plot that here, but I'm going to wait and do my last transformation before I plot it, just so I don't have my whole graph taken up here. So the last thing it wants me to do is reflect across Y equals negative X. So when I reflect across Y equals negative X, looking at my flip notes here, Y equals negative X, my X and Y coordinates are going to swap places and then also change signs. So I'm basically doing everything on this one. I'm going to swap the coordinates and change both sides. So these are all going to go back to where they were, but they're both going to change signs too. So the new A, the twice transformed A, is going to become negative 1, negative 2. The twice transformed B is going to become negative 3, negative 4. And then the C is going to become negative 4, negative 1. And then I'm going to plot that negative 1, negative 2. There's my last and final A. Negative 3, negative 4. There's my last B. And then C is negative 4, negative 1. There's my last C. And draw the shape. That would be my final answer. And again, Make sure you understand how to read your flippy notes. You'll be able to use them on the test. So the reflections, rotations especially, make sure you have all those rules down and know how to refer them. They basically go off of what your order pairs do, and then the dilations, if your shape is growing bigger or smaller, it's going to be a dilation.
Can we show rotations again?
Rotations.
Haley Davies, please come to the main office.
Okay.
Haley Davies, please come to the
Anything
main
else you want to
office.
cover? All right. And that's everything.